Have you ever felt misunderstood by others, especially the adults? Well, I have. And I think a lot of teenagers experience this feeling at least once in a lifetime. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable, all judges of the speech contest and all beloved audience. Good morning. Well, today, in this beautiful moment, I want to talk about something relatable. Something that's screaming in our hearts and running through our minds. Today, I'm going to talk about growing pains, what teenagers wish their parents understood. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure that all of you have that feeling when you just want to try something or tell something to your parents, but they judge you and blame you. And when you just want to be listened to, they giving you advice instead. Well, I know some people perhaps think that it is just misunderstanding or lack of communication. But for teenagers, this misunderstanding can create distance, pressure, and even pain. So, everybody, now, if you look around in your society, there's a case where teenagers are forced to pursue a career path that aligns with their parents' wishes. Yes, their parents' wishes. For example, there's one person in my school that loved to learn music, but sadly, his parents are forced him to become a doctor. And the reason why their parents forced him is actually pretty funny because they forced him because his parents are failed to become a doctor in their own youth. So it's funny, isn't it? So, ladies and gentlemen, today, as a teenagers, we need to understand that such cases can have a harmful psychological impacts on children and teenagers. Because according to psychiatric research from University of Houston, adolescents who face parental threats are at greater risk for depression. And the teenagers who are exposed to parental threats often grow into someone who had struggled with emotional clarity, which means they have difficulty recognizing their own emotion. So as a result, they may end up in severe depressive symptoms. So it's pretty bad, everybody. So after hearing all of that cases, now can I say that being a teenager is not as easy as it looks? Because being teenagers is exhausting and tiring, especially when we face pressure from our parents. So this is why, as a teenagers, we need to develop a good mindset. Yes, a good mindset. Well, what I mean by a good mindset is that someday, when we grow up and become adults, we need to understand that we need to have a be parents who have patience and a good understanding. We shouldn't ignore them, but we should listen. We shouldn't judge them, but rather offer advice. Well, by adopting these mindsets, I am sure that we can stop the pain and trauma that our parents may unintentionally pass on to us. Well, my dear friends, now I'm asking you to build ourselves into a generation that is healthy physically and mentally. Let's build ourselves for us and our future. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's all what I can say. Hopefully, this will be very beneficial for all of you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.